We are just getting to know FaZe Banks, and we can't stop watching all of his videos. But do you think that you are his biggest fan? If you do, you'll have to watch the video until the end and tell us if you knew about all this. Or is there any secret missing? You'll have to tell us about it in the comments. If you love FaZe Banks as much as we do, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. Today, we are showing you 20 things you didn't know about FaZe Banks. His birth. FaZe Banks was born on October 18, 1991 in Lawrence, Massachusetts. It makes him 26 years old in December 2017. His birth sign is Libra, which means that he is social, fair-minded, cooperative, and diplomatic. However, his weaknesses are being indecisive, carrying a grudge, avoiding confrontation, and having a tendency for self-pity. Libras love sharing with others and being social, which explains why FaZe is surrounded by so many people. They also hate injustice and violence, which is why Banks isn't shy to speak out when he sees something that is unfair. Finding the right partner is also a priority in the Libran's life, so we think that Alissa Violet is really lucky for being with him. His real name. FaZe Banks' name is too perfect to be true, and that's because that it's not the name that you can find on his birth certificate. His real name is actually Richard Bengtson. His other nickname is Ricky Banks, but you probably now know him as FaZe Banks. The name FaZe is also associated with the FaZe Clan, and you might be wondering which one inspired the other. The FaZe Clan already existed before Ricky decided to join them, and later became the chief operating officer. It means that he was named after the group, and the group was not named after him. And he is not the only one with this nickname. His teenage years. FaZe was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, but moved to the town of Lowell when he was 7 years old. Surprisingly, the young FaZe was a troublemaker as he and his friends messed around with people. But it's not surprising to hear that Banks loved playing video games like NHL, Madden, and Halo as a child. He just became addicted when he found out about Xbox Live and how interactive the games were. Banks then graduated from Lowell High School. In 2011, FaZe decided to start his own YouTube channel to post his gaming videos. His YouTube channel. FaZe Banks created his YouTube channel in September of 2011. With now more than 4 million subscribers, you probably all know who he is. But did you know that his channel was actually called Banks Has Bank when it all started before he changed it to FaZe Banks? At that time, he was the leader of the team SoaR before joining the FaZe Clan. The oldest video that you can find now on his YouTube channel is The Greatest Soaring in Style, along with many other Call of Duty gaming videos. What surprises us is that many of these videos were not even 1 minute long, and he still got thousands of views. His new clan. FaZe got a lot of subscribers when he was with SoaR, but unfortunately, all great things come to an end. After spending a year and a half with SoaR, he left the group on March 24, 2013 to join the FaZe Clan. Banks quickly became one of the owners of FaZe Clan, as many people admired his leadership. Unfortunately, the chief operating officer left the gaming group in January of 2016. Here is the reason why. His dark times. This is something that Banks doesn't like to talk about, but he became addicted to Adderall in 2016, one of the darkest moments of his life. The YouTuber was working too hard for the FaZe Clan. This is why he manipulated and lied to a doctor to get the medication that would quickly destroy him. FaZe revealed that what we witnessed for the past couple of days was a drug detox. He was a person addicted to a drug and who stopped taking it entirely. But after the detox, FaZe Banks is back in the game, stronger than ever, and ready to face new challenges by joining the Clout Gang. His new gang. It's not a secret that FaZe is now part of the Clout Gang that claims to be better than Team 10, along with his girlfriend Alissa Violet and his friend RiceGum. But did you know that you can try to join them? FaZe hinted this in one of his videos with the hashtag Clout Gang Recruitment Challenge. And we have seen him recruiting people like Ugly God. Unfortunately, there aren't many details on how to join the Clout Gang, even though people suggest that you should make sure FaZe notices you online. That's one secret that we still don't know about Banks. His moment of fame. So we know that there are many phases in the FaZe Clan. The most popular of them is, without a doubt, FaZe Banks. And the reason why you know him is probably that you love or love to hate Jake Paul. When he was accused of assaulting Jake Paul's assistant, Meg, FaZe decided to tell his side of the story. This is when people realized that his story made much more sense, and he gained 200,000 subscribers in less than 24 hours. This is also how Jake Paul lost thousands of subscribers. No matter what, we are happy that FaZe got our attention, because we think that the Clout Gang can become the next Team 10 without all the drama and fake relationships. We'll tell you more about this later. His house. FaZe Banks recently moved to a beautiful house in Hollywood with the Clout Gang, and we have to admit that this is the house of our dreams. But how much does it cost for it to become true? The house is actually worth $15 million, and we never thought that a group of young people would be able to afford a house like this. They even found out that Justin Bieber used to live in this house, which we think makes it even more valuable. There are still plenty of empty rooms to fill, so we hope that the YouTubers will soon join the Clout Gang in their house. His lucky number. In case you didn't know, FaZe's favorite number is 47. But why does he have a little tattoo of the number 68 on his arm? It's actually really meaningful to him and his girlfriend, Alissa Violet. In a video, he said that he asked her to say a number between 47 and 100. This is when the two said 68 at the exact same time. They have less than 2% of a chance of getting this right, so it can't be just luck. We think that it just shows how close they are. His clothing line. Most fans already know about this now, but it used to be a big secret for almost a year when FaZe Banks was working on it. It turned out to be his clothing line, Loose Change. He used to be really depressed, and this project is one of the things that really made him happier. This is not just merch like any other YouTuber does. This is a real high-quality designer clothing line that you can buy if you like FaZe Banks' style. He even wanted to be the first to sell it directly to his fans. We can say that this is one thing you didn't know about FaZe in the past, but you do now. His shoe collection. It's not a surprise that FaZe loves shoes, and he is not the only one in his house. Banks loves the GOAT app that gives him the chance to order the greatest pair of shoes. Someone always makes sure that the shoes are real and in good condition, and the YouTuber usually receives them in only 1 week. He can easily spend thousands of dollars on one simple pair of shoes, and if you are wondering, he wears size 13. But just wait until you hear how tall he is. His height. You have probably noticed that FaZe Banks is really tall, but how tall is he actually? When he stands next to his friend RiceGum, he doesn't really look tall. That's because his friend is actually 6 feet. It means that Banks is taller than this. FaZe is actually 6 feet 5 inches, which is almost 2 meters. He also tweeted that he weighs 200 pounds, which would make him really intimidating for anyone who sees him on the street. But don't worry, FaZe is actually really nice. That's why there are more chances that he will be there to defend you if something bad happens. His other talents. FaZe Banks is not only good at playing video games, hanging out with his friends, or being part of Team 10's drama. He also creates music as a producer, composer, and songwriter. He even made his own song that he released on his channel during one of his vlogs. Another surprising thing that we learned is that Justin Bieber used to write songs in FaZe Banks' bedroom. Maybe this is where his inspiration comes from. His dogs. It's not a secret that FaZe Banks loves his dogs, but any reason is good to see them again. It all started with his English bulldog, London, which we all love. In September 2017, FaZe also adopted a French bulldog named Paris for $25,000. We think that FaZe is crazy to spend so much money on dogs, but we have to admit that we would pay the same price to keep our own dogs. The more likes he gets, the more he buys puppies, so you better give him the attention that he deserves so we can see more cute little dogs on his channel. His net worth. So how much does FaZe Banks make to be able to afford all these shoes, these puppies, and this dream house? It has been reported in October 2017 that the YouTuber earns $2 million every year. Although he didn't say it himself, it's not hard to believe that he makes that much money. We just hope that this popularity will last for a long time if he wants to be able to afford all of these things. But the most priceless thing in his life will always be his girlfriend, Alissa. His social media. FaZe Banks is not only popular on YouTube, he also had almost 2 million followers on his Twitter account, @Banks. He also has more than 2 million followers on his Instagram, Banks, and we have to admit that we are here for his pictures of his dogs. You can also hear more about him on Snapchat, and his username is Ricky Banks. This is where he talked about his addiction, so his biggest fans need to follow him. We can never get enough of FaZe Banks, and we are happy to have the chance to follow him everywhere. His revenge. We all know that the Clout Gang doesn't like Team 10, but we never thought that they hated their fans so much too. In September 2017, some Jake Paulers came to his house to sing It's Everyday Bro. This was when FaZe Banks came out onto his balcony and decided to spit on them. Some people defended him by saying that they were on his property, so the YouTuber had the right to do this, but we think that he took things way too far. Mostly when we think that his friend, Jake Maldonado, showed up at the Team 10 house playing It's Every Night Sis. His creepiest moment. FaZe Banks might be intimidating, but some fans are not scared of him. That's why one of them broke into the house that FaZe Banks shares with the Clout Gang. The YouTuber said in a video that there were 4 of them and they recorded videos in his house without his permission. He said that the kids didn't just want to hang out with them, they wanted to exploit them. At that time, the police were still working on this case, and Banks said that he would hire security to protect his home. His most dramatic moment. This story is not a secret at all. Jake Paul accused FaZe Banks of assaulting his assistant Meg, and Banks replied that he had nothing to do with this. But do you know what really happened? His friend Max, who was there that night, confirmed that he didn't see him kiss or assault anyone that night. FaZe Banks even decided to press charges legally to make sure that Jake Paul won't be able to do it again. What else do you know about FaZe Banks? Don't be shy to reveal some of his biggest secrets to show that you are his biggest fan. We love to hear from you. And that's it for 20 things you didn't know about FaZe Banks. For more stories like this, make sure you watch 20 things you didn't know about the Clout Gang. Thanks for watching and see you next time.